Hello and welcome to Freight Logics Hub podcast, where we discuss the historical developments in logistics in Kenya and East Africa. I'm your host, George Kidemba. Once again, I'm happy to welcome a friend that I've worked with in the past for a long time, Mr. Andrew Mali. Andrew Mali is currently the manager in charge of the container freight station for Mitchell Courts. And to begin with, Andrew, I'm very happy that you are able to join us in this podcast. Could you begin by telling us what is your background? What did you study to be able to come and occupy this office?
Thank you very much. My name is Andrew Mali. I was born from Makueni County and studied in a primary school called Chanzuki Primary School. I proceeded to Utangwa Secondary School. And 1980, I came to Mombasa. I joined a company called Tompkins and Danding, which was doing loss adjusters, loss changes. From there, I joined Single Freight in 1986 in the port.
So what was your role in the port?
I was employed as a port clerk, where we were clearing shipments, imports, transit and shipments from the port.
Basically, taking the responsibility of identifying the cargo where it is, identifying it and releasing it to the owners.
Yeah. Yes, the port has developed, it has grown. That time there were no containers, and the cargo was coming loose. And they were using what we call nets, because shipments, whether they were TVs or shoes or shirts, these were coming in boxes. And that was then. But now we were to identify, because each box at a max, showing identification of the importer. That is how we used to handle the cargo during that time.
I remember spending a lot of time in the warehouses in the port, trying to identify shipments. Then we moved, so they would come in boxes, they would come in crates, but eventually then we moved on to containers. And containers is what we are moving today. So, so when you joined as a port clerk at Signal, did you manage to grow to the ranks?
Yes, actually, I remember within 3 months when I joined, I was the best employee of the company, where I was presented with an award by the MD that time. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what did you learn while you were sitting?
I learned logistics at that time on clearing and forwarding, and then when I was promoted to be a supervisor, and then I was also promoted to be assistant transport manager in Singapore. Yes.
So now, what was your role as an assistant transport manager?
My role was that time there was a lot of cargo coming to the port of Mombasa, and it was my role was to make sure that all containers which we were being cleared by Singapore, we were to identify them, verify them, and since that time, it was manual, the entries, and you remember the Mombasa release order.
Yes.
It was very, very, very cumbersome, because you were to follow that document from long, that is for the house to the port, and then all the way go to port account, you secure port charges, go verify, and then you can now load the cargo and take it out.
So you're working with people like Michael Kenga and
Yes.
Christine Mekesa.
Yes, yes.
These are the people who are Banazabidi,
Mwinyi,
Yenye,
yes. Mudhuri, Edward Mudhuri, he was my manager.
Mekwa.
Mekwa,
Yes. So I think one of the things that we had in Signal then was rotation of offices, because you start here as a port clerk,
Yes,
and now you're moving on to be assistant supervisor or manager in the transport department.
yes.
How has that benefited you?
Actually, since I had started as a port clerk and then later supervisor and then promoted to transport, it was a big plus for me, because I had known how to clear cargo in the port, but on the logistics of loading and transporting, now I learned more because there were scheduled deliveries from the port to customer. So that it was a very good lesson for me to have learned on how to schedule the trucks, allocate them according to the needs of the customers. Yeah.
Now, transport is an interesting area, because you are having to balance your loading, but you also have to manage the consumption, the fuel consumption, okay, and the convoys and the drivers. What was your experience in that area of management?
Yeah. What the problem with transport is that fuel is the most difficult thing to control, but because you had now also to understand when the trucker is moving, how many liters is it taking per kilometer, how many liters per kilometer, and then also so that you can know how many liters you are going to allocate by each truck, depending on its loading capacity, and also you have to know the distance from where you are loading and destination, so that you can calculate the number of liters you are going to give. Yeah.
Okay. So now tell us, what is involved in running a container freight station? What is the role, your role? Yeah.
My role is I'm the port operations manager, managing all the cargo for Michokos, container freight stations. We have already we are having 4 at the moment, and also we have another area where we are having a SZ, that is special economic zone.
Okay.
That will make 5.
Okay.
So my role is to make sure that this shipment for customers who have nominated cargo to our facilities, they are transferred on time.
Okay.
So that we reduce the cost of doing business in the border in Mombasa. Yes.
So, like, how many containers do you handle per year?
If I may start, before SGR came in, the Standard Railway, we were handling, we were to transfer almost over 300 containers per day.
Okay.
Yes, and the volume was so much because this cargo, there was a lot of congestion in the port.
Okay.
So the government came with that policy of trying to come with the private
container freight stations.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So about 300 at that time.
At that time.
So now you're saying it's gone down.
Yeah, because of we have a lot of competition because the CFSs are so many.
Okay.
They are almost 21. But you know, at that time, containers were being dominated by KPA.
Yes.
You were being allocated vessels that time. But now things have changed because now it's a free market where now you have to do marketing for your facilities so that the customers can give you. What happens is that once you have agreed with the consignee, and now you will sign a contract and then they nominate the shipment from the Lord Port. And since you know now everywhere now the system automation of systems are there, and you know Kentrade. The governments are coming with that policy. So that Kentrade is connected with the all government agencies. So once you have nominated, the containers have been nominated from the Lord Port. When I mean containers, I mean everything. Whether it is a Loro, that Loro means motor vehicles, and then whether it's project cargo, is nominated from the Lord Port. Then the shipping line now manifests for our facilities. And I have told you we have 4 of them now, which we are dealing with them. We have MIT. MIT is a code given by KRI. That means MIT is the CFS coordinated station, which is where we are now. Here. That is the code for that. And then we have another one, another code for our CFS, which is in Kibaran, MCF. That is a code for that facility. We have another one, a shed which is in the port. We call it MT2. That is a code for 30 facility. And then we have another one in Nairobi, LC2. So all that, when we are marketing for our facilities, you have to capture very well, because if you don't capture well, and they all belong to our mutual funds, if you cannot take that cargo to any of the facilities except the one which has been nominated. So that is how we operate. Yes, and then at the port, as I have explained to you, once the customer has nominated to MIT, the shipping line will launch the manifest to Kentrade, and it is going to upload to the system of KRI. KRI, when they approve, it drops to we are connected. Because,
So what is the advantage of using a CFS?
The advantage is that, because of the turnaround of vessels which are coming to the port of Mombasa, KBA would not like to have cargo remain at the port. They have given 4 days for customers to clear the cargo within 4 days. And the good news is that we agree with the customer, give them some additional days. Yes, then 10 days, 15 days, or 21. Customs, that is 21 days, which it is custom well rate.
So is this mostly local or is it transit?
When it comes to issues of transfer from documentation point of view, transit, they are given, they have been, they used to be 9 days. Now they have been given, because of the competition which is coming, Tanzania and the port of Mombasa, that is. So they have been increased the number of days to 15. To allow now come to our place. But it is just not the same. When you market the transit countries, you will agree on the number of days. But remember, the KRI is constant. And days for custom wells is just the same. Yes.
So, so would you say that the majority of the containers we are having here are for Kenya, or is it the containers in transit?
These are for Kenya. The ones we have, what we are having 95% is Kenyan. Yes.
So, and they are still being cleared and being delivered to Nairobi and beyond.
Yes, and mostly in Mombasa. Yes, but for those who want to, you remember when we had an issue of the cargo for, government policies.
Yes.
When we had cargo for Nairobi,
Yeah,
go to Nairobi.
Yes.
But now that they have, it interrupted a lot in terms of input because of the logistics. So what is happening now for those who want to come to clear in the Mombasa and take by road?
Okay.
That's there are some who wants to clear street and take loose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at logistics in general for Kenya, East Africa, in the near future, are you seeing more needs for container freight stations, or are you seeing that coming down?
I would say there's a lot of what we call trade facilitation, and it will depend on the government's policy on how they are going to work on this. Because if you check at the time when 1990s and there about 2010, the population of the country, we cannot say that because of the population, the import will increase depending on the population.
Okay. Yeah.
But also we have to work out on the how much so that we can know whether there is increase.
Okay.
But going forward, I can see depending on the policy of the government, trade facilitation, depending on how things are going to move, there is a bright future on this.
So for freight station, do you think there will be need for opening up more branches up in Eldoret, Kisumu, and the like? Do you think?
Yes, and if the experience is going to be when now this is a set of Dogo, things will change, and I think with the connection of the SGR going to Eldoret, things will change.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think people will change on the way the policies are going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that the cargo that is mostly in your warehouses, is it the ones that are destined for Mombasa or the ones that are destined for Nairobi?
Mostly the ones we are handling are from Mombasa.
For Mombasa.
Yes.
So there's a lot of termination in Mombasa.
What I can see now, and if we look at the future and the way the transformation of the port of Mombasa.
Yes.
And I am just trying to think, taking experience from where it started and where we are going. Within, and I'm saying, this is my thinking.
Yes.
I'm seeing Mombasa is going to be a city where it is going to grow. And maybe 40 to by 30 years to come, this will be the city of choice in Mombasa.
Okay.
Once you can hear now the bridge which is being built at the Likoni.
Yes.
And the Mombasa is going to be the city where people would want to come.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I understand there's a lot of competition from Dar es Salaam. What is your take on that? Yeah, saying that Dar es Salaam is coming up very fast. The turnaround time for the vessels is coming down, and the Tanzanians are building the SGR going across Tanzania, connecting to Rwanda, Uganda.
Come again?
How is Mombasa preparing for that?
I think actually what I can say is that the government here, we have got good policies, but and that is why I started saying the trade facilitation. What we need is to change the way we do things. And I think we are far in terms of technology here in Kenya, and I think also the other East African countries are learning from what we are doing. So if the policies are going to be very, they are going to facilitate trade. If we are going to facilitate trade, and what I mean by facilitating trade is the government agencies.
Yes.
Because the turnout of vessels will depend on how the government policies are going to be made. Because KBA are just handling the cargo. The cargo belongs to KRA. They are the owners of the cargo. And they have to be paid duties and everything. So if now the system are going to be made, and then they have come up with the scanners so that they can easily the verification, the site will be after you have scanned the analysis. So I'm seeing once this is done, because what I think the government is going to do in terms of the scanners, they will come up with they can come up with a crane which is of during offloading of the vessels. The container is scanned and then taken to the yard. That will reduce the time.
The time that
yes. But now the turnout of vessels will depend on how the government agencies. You have caves, you have caves, you have so many agencies releasing the cargo, and it cannot come. You cannot remove if those containers are not released. So the turnaround will depend on how fast are we going to evacuate the containers from the port, and then now other vessels can come and discharge. Yes.
So what would you say is your biggest challenge as container freight stations? What would you want the government to do so that you can perform better?
The one is that we came up with a very good way of releasing containers going to the CF facilities. Previously it was when we were transferring, we were given an escort. They removed that, and because they came up with a system, which is called CAMIS, and then ICMS, and then bonds from a bond from port to the CFS, another one to the CFS. So that took care of that bottleneck which we had. Now what they need to come up with, of which now we have gone back to where we were. When we were transferring that time, when the physical escort was removed, containers were coming very fast to the CFS. But now they have brought a scanner where you scan, then they have put another bottleneck at the gate, where now that image analysis is supposed to be confirmed at that gate. Which now we are thinking is not the right thing to do, since these containers are not, they have not been, it has not been paid. They are just being transferred from port to the CFS container freight station.
And you're still going to scan them again? Do you have scanners at the CFSs?
What we are saying is this: when that container passes through a scanner at the port, that image is needed at the CFS.
Yes.
Not at the gate, because it is just being transferred from a custom control area to another one.
Yes.
So now, because you have scanned it, that image should be sent to the CFS.
Yes.
Now, what happens if maybe the image was not analyzed? And what is the percentage of the containers which have they have not been analyzed, or the image has not been correctly scanned? Because there are some areas where you scan, you are told to come back and scan. Now, what we are saying is, if now they can open that, because if you ask the agencies which are scanning, the percentage of containers which are coming to the CFS without scan, it's none. Or it's 0.1%, which that one can be done physically. You can check that one. Because we are taking about 8 hours waiting for the image. You load a container at 8, and you are coming out at 4. Look at that turnout. So I think there is more to be done.
So you are suggesting that once it is scanned,
it goes direct.
Yes. Why do you think they're insisting on this scanning at the gate?
I think Um, the issue, the reason why is just we want, they are saying that is a border, the exit gate,
Okay.
and the person who is at that gate must confirm whether that container has been scanned.
And it is taking you 8 hours to get that. So
Yeah, and you can be told to go.
thereby creating more congestion
In the port. Yes.
defeating the very reason for which the CFSs have been allowed to operate.
Yes, and also affecting KPA performance.
Okay.
Because there are some times where you can see you cannot even drive at the port because of those trucks waiting for the images.
Okay.
But we are happy with the scan because the scan, everybody is supporting it because you are seeing what is there.
Yes.
But now the analysis, the analyzing of that, that is the issue. You scan, you analyze, and what we are saying is that analysis, yes, should be sent to the CFS where the container is going.
So would you welcome AI? Would you welcome AI to take over that analysis? Because, I mean, if it is taking 8 hours, it is defeating the very purpose for allowing the CFSs to come through. Maybe one way of looking at it is can AI take over? Because then once it is scanned,
yes,
it can be quickly analyzed by AI.
That is what we are
and you are able to move on and have a quick turnaround.
What our point here, and we have made it very clear during our Friday meetings, because I attend the port community stakeholders where there is a port charter. And the what is required is we want a turnaround of trucks. Because if there is no turnaround, that means port is going to be congested. So what they need, as you have said, we don't need that image to be sent at the gate. Because this container is coming from a customs controlled area to another one. So if they send the skippers on that, it can be verified 100% on the other side.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I'm informed. I'm educated, and I'm very grateful that you are playing this crucial role in trade facilitation in Kenya and East Africa, and that the container freight stations are basically our way of making sure that there's fluidity in the clearance of cargo that comes through the port of Mombasa, as you compete with the other ports in the region. I want to wish you well in your posts, and thank you. I want to thank Mr. Coates for granting us the opportunity to talk to you today. Viewers, again, we are talking about the container freight stations, and particularly we visited Mitchell Courts. We have had discussions with my friend Andrew Mali. We want to say that we appreciate the role that container freight stations are playing. We want to appreciate the work that the government is doing, but we are also saying that there's room for improvement. There's room to make sure that it is more fluid, that there's no overtime of capital in terms of the number of trucks that are waiting at the gate once the scanner has done its work. So thank you so much for watching our podcast. Remember, Freight Projects Hub podcast is a podcast that brings you the developments in logistics in Kenya and East Africa. Please like the program and share it, and we look forward to bringing you another episode. Thank you for watching.